kind of want to answer that last question you guys just asked, Jen, that you said, how does anybody do this? And, quite frankly, there's not really an easy answer to that, because it's such a, it's such a healthcare problem, right? There's a
Yes.
process that we go through as cancer patients that, me and Heath and really, your family and my family, we really know well, because, as one of our recipients from a couple years ago told us, and we've only been around for a little over 4 years now. We still feel like a young organization,
Wow.
but I feel like we're doing some really great things. And one of the things that we talk about all the time in presentations, used to be in person, now they're on Zoom mostly, but it's just, there's a huge gap in the cancer community when it comes to the financial aspect. Everybody knows about the emotional, physical, mental strain that cancer brings about on you and your family, and all the what ifs and surgeries and treatments and et cetera, that we've gone through. But the reality is, and I had an awake craniotomy, on my brain, where I was awake for 10 hours of that surgery. And you go through these things and you go, man, how, when I come out of this, everything, how am I going to live tomorrow? So it's all those little, things that you ask yourself along the way. But the question that I asked myself the most was, how am I going to support my family? How are we going to get by? We had, we had a budget, we had all of our income, and then all of a sudden, it got stripped away from us. And so,
exactly.
Me and Scott talked for months and months and months about what are we going to do? I had a calling when I was in MD Anderson Hospital, after that surgery, going like, I know I'm going to do something special. I don't know what it's going to be. And then Scott came along, who's been a great friend of mine for 20 years. And he was like, hey man, what do you think about, doing something really, really special, a nonprofit? And I thought, man, I don't know the first thing about a nonprofit, but we quickly realized how much of a problem, after doing all this research, how much of a problem the financial aspect of cancer is. And of course, he was asking me all these great questions. He's been a PR guy for his career, and he's asking me these great questions about, like, what was the biggest, hurdle? What was the worst part about the journey, which I'm still going through, right? But I mean, and it still affects us in some ways, because, checkups and all that stuff, it's not cheap. But like you're getting on in August, I was able to get on SSDI fairly quick, and that helped a lot. But in the meantime, there was the big struggle. And so I think we've grown a lot over the last few years because of how much we've gotten donors and people in our community to understand how big of a struggle this really is. And people just think that, oh, there's help out there. It's like, no, there's really not, so we wanted to do something special for you guys. It's a Friday evening, and we hope you guys have a great time this evening. And, but ultimately we want to be that kind of bridge, to, from now until you get on that disability, and, just be able to be there for you guys, be our, have you guys be our next Tony Foundation family, is what we call it. Because